Hi guys, so today I'm going to do my video on internet censorship. Now, just a little bit of background. Our government censors our internet. It's not as heavily censored as some places, but it's definitely censored just to begin with. So, let's get started and we'll, kind of take it from there. So let's say you're doing a research paper on prostitution. And you go to the internet and you search pros and cons of prostitution. Now, you're going to get a lot of information, for sure. We have so much information on the internet. A lot of the information that you're going to get, however, is going to be pieces that are related to opinions. So it's not actually going to be factual research, it'll be opinionated research, which is fine because you are going to end up forming an opinion. But for a research paper, you want something very factual. So, and I'm really sorry, but I have kids yelling in the background. They are playing in another room. Hopefully they will keep quiet for as long as they can, and we will see how this goes. So internet censorship in itself is kind of, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So I'm going to give you the pros and the cons, and then I'm going to give you my idea on what I think about internet censorship. Now, one of the pros is it does protect vulnerable individuals. So we're looking at children, the mentally challenged, prison population, and then other sensitive groups. So basically, they would not be able to look up certain things because we have a censorship program in place. And that's thanks to the government. Obviously, with children, we don't want them looking up violence, pornography, anything like that. Same with the prison population, same with the mentally disabled, and same with the others, really the specific groups that really do need to be censored. On top of that, it does, in theory, decrease identity theft. Because of the fact that you cannot put a ton of stuff out on the internet, a ton of things about yourself. It's not like you're just going to post your social security number, your all of your ideas, all of these different things. It protects that. So like anybody trying to do a patent, trying to make an invention, it can protect that. Now, if you're not very smart about it and you post that in a blog or something and someone else reads it, they can absolutely take that from you. But because of censorship laws, there's a lot of things that like companies can't post and you can't post, that the internet just will not let you do. Now, United States censorship is very minimal compared to some other countries, or North Korea, things like that, where their censorship is so intense that it just gets rid of like huge portions of history and things like that. And to be completely honest, we don't totally know if our internet is censored the same way or a similar way, just because there would be no way of knowing unless we went to another country and looked at it through them and kind of searched for different things. So those are some of the pros to internet censorship, and we're protecting sensitive individuals, children, mentally disabled, prison population, and then anyone else that kind of falls into that bubble of sensitive individuals. And then we're also decreasing identity theft, intellectual property theft, things like that. And that's a big deal. We really, don't want our ideas stolen. That would be horrible, and I think that would really, really weigh on someone, so it's a big deal. Some of the cons to the to internet censorship is it limits constitutional freedoms. It limits the freedom of speech and press. Honestly, that is just, it speaks for itself. We can't say every single thing that we want to say on the internet. There's some stuff that we shouldn't say, but either way, we cannot say it. The freedom of press is very limited. There's a lot of stuff that they just cannot post. And that's because we have different safeguards put in place so that we don't have to deal with that. We also kind of lose our voice in this, and we don't get everything that's going on in the world. And that can be okay, but I believe that as a whole, we would be better off without internet censorship, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Another con is that the government uses money to pay for censorship. That to me is a huge con. I don't want our government paying for something like that. We should censor our internet. If we have children, which I do, she's not of the age to like get on the internet, but I take care of children who are. You censor that. You don't want them to visit certain sites. You don't want them to do certain things. So you make sure that they are not able to, like physically able to go onto those sites or look up those things. So that's kind of a bummer. I'm shocked and saddened by the fact that we use our tax dollars and the money that the government receives in order to take care of this. And I really just don't think that that's a government job. On top of that, it does limit innovation and progress. And by that, I mean, on the internet, you can literally learn anything from medical advice to recipes and anything in between. And it can also shape the way you think. You read an opinion piece, you're like, that's the truth, I'm going to go with that, and that is just what I'm going to deal with, and that's the only thing that is true, and nothing else can be true. Now, that is kind of hard because the censorship really does persuade people a certain way, because there could be other opinion pieces out there that are not allowed to be posted, and so you only see this one opinion rather than both of the opinions. On top of that, censorship really does mean that we can't move forward as a country. Without being able to really look at everything that we want to look at and need to look at, we're not going to move forward as a country. We just can't. It really will hold us back. Now, obviously, we will be able to move forward somewhat, but we're not going to make leaps and bounds. It's just not going to work that way. So that's really where, those are going to be the pros and cons of the internet. So the cons are going to be they limit our constitutional functions. It is government money that is used for censorship. And it limits our innovation and progress. Now, my views on it, which is like my most exciting part. Honestly, I think internet should not be censored. I think that, number one, it's not a job for the government. I think it's a job for parents. Now, we pump a lot of money into the prison system, and we pump a lot of money into the mentally disabled system, with all of their rights and everything. The people working at the prisons, at the group homes, at the, different facilities need to be the people who are censoring this internet. Like, there's no reason for the government to have to censor it if we have all of those people in place. Next, it really does limit our progress, and that's really sad to me. As a country, we are a country that people come to be free. My father came here from Yugoslavia, and he came here to be free and to live the American dream. And honestly, with our internet being censored, it really can hinder that. We want people with massive ideas and excitement to move on in this world. And then it does limit constitutional freedoms. It limits our speech. It limits our press. The press kind of bothers me. I like to know what's going on. I like to have all the names. I like to have everything because that's just me. But that might not bother as many people. But I would say the fact that it limits innovation and progress is one of the things that bothers me the most. That was my speech. That's everything. So obviously I believe that the internet should not be censored. If you guys have any questions or anything, I really do look forward to hearing all of your responses and, you know, things that I can change and things that I can do better. Please let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks.